highlights from the class before we move on to anything else. Kevin, why don't we start with you in regards to, you don't necessarily have to go to the top of the board because those are the guys that obviously are supposed to be the best players, but who do you really like out of this class?
But I do really like the players at the top of the board. Their receiver class is epic, and for all of the issues that people have with this class, and I understand that they got 20 and didn't go out and maybe get that immediate impact left tackle. Who, again, talking about numbers, there aren't really a lot of true freshman immediate impact left tackles to be had, and maybe you can go on and on and on. But the receiver class of Brandon Innis, Carnell Tate, Noah Rogers, and Bryson Rogers is special. And you've got four guys out there that all complement each other. There's enough overlap that when you cross train them to play inside, outside, etc., that you've got it. But you certainly have your inside guys, you certainly have your outside guys, and it's just another feather in the cap of Brian Hartline for being able to go out and put together a great class. Last year's class had some high rankings in there with the four receivers they brought in there, but they haven't had a chance to really break through on the field. You're going to have a glut of 8 guys now that are going to be all pushing to try and get out there. I mean, there's not going to be the Jackson Smith and Jigba question anymore. We know where that one stands. And while you got guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka back, people are going to question whether or not Julian Fleming, what his status is going to be. But, let's just say he's back. Receiver is going to be really deep. So, so I don't take all of the highlights. I'm just going to focus on the receivers, and that's where your pair of 5-stars are with Tate and Ennis. But Noah Rogers out of Roseville, North Carolina, out near Raleigh, he could end up being the best of the bunch, and that's not taking anything away from the other Rogers, Tate and Ennis. That's just saying that Noah Rogers may be criminally underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah, Noah Rogers reminds me of Michael Thomas, and he's an outside guy, but can play inside as well, and he's dynamite with the slant and catches tough balls and is a 50-50 guru, as our buddy
he's
Tim
a guru.
But I'll go to Ohio safety Malik Hartford, about 6'3", 175, 180 pounds, tons of range, really big hitter, solid tackler, triggers well, helps out in run support, can cover ground. So I think he's a guy that in this safety-driven defense will be a guy that is eventually a free safety back there patrolling and controlling things. And I think with what they've done with their safeties, maybe Jaden Bonsu is the strong safety of the group. He's a thumper, 6'1", 210, can help out in the run game. I don't know, is Cedric Hawkins maybe the nickel in this three-pronged attack? Maybe we'll see what he can do. But I really like Hartford. He's a violent guy. He had the hit of the year in high school football this past year. If you go ahead and go to YouTube and type in Malik Hartford after this show, you'll see what I'm talking about, or maybe just open up another browser and keep it muted. But he's a guy that is a big hitter and is a smart football player.
Yeah, I think Brian Hartline obviously outdid himself again. He's had, 3 or 4 of these classes in a row now where he gets 2 or 3 receivers that are in the national top 100. I think his big one was the Smith Najigba, Julian Fleming, Mookie Cooper, and whoever the other guy was. That maybe was that G maybe. 4 guys in the top 100 that one year, and then he just he had Marvin Harrison and Emeka Egbuka. And then last year's guys, really didn't break through this season on the field, but, there's a lot of good talent there with those guys he signed last year, 3 or 4 guys, Burton Brown, Antwi, and Kion Grays, I think was the 4th one. So he struck again. They give him 4 spots every year, and he comes back with 3 top 100 guys. And I guess Bryson Rogers, who's maybe the throw in here. He's got Ohio ties back to Warren, Ohio, and was a Buckeye all about it from the word go as soon as they got interested in him. And Brandon Innis picked up the ball, as a Florida guy and ran with it and helped recruit players to be part of this class as well. So it was really interesting. We got to see Carnell Tate up close at the camp last year, and he seems like another really good player as well. So a great wide receiver haul. I think a pretty good offensive line haul. I mean, you didn't recruit Orlando Pace or Paris Johnson in this class, but you did get Luke Montgomery, who's the number 50 overall player thereabouts, give or take, in the country, and could play almost any of the 5 offensive line positions. Not sure how he's done a whole lot at center, but I guess they're talking about starting him out or beginning his career at tackle. Miles Walker, I think, is also going to begin his career at tackle. And the other two, Siraveld and Padilla, if I'm wrong, correct me, guys. I think they're going to be the guards, but maybe Siraveld. I don't know. But a pretty good haul on the offensive line as well for Justin Fry, taking over from Stu Rawa and kind of maintaining and getting some guys there. I want to see, how the defensive line group pans out. Will Smith is a very hardworking player from Dublin Kaufman, obviously a legacy from Will Smith Sr. And, I have an interview on our site with him, courtesy of our friends at Channel 4, who went to his signing day and taped an interview with him, and he couldn't stop smiling. That's how excited he was to be able to sign his letter of intent. And it appeared they had one of his dad's old Ohio State jerseys there. And, it's a very poignant situation for him. Lost his dad, 6 years ago, 2016. It just seems like it was yesterday. He was killed in a road rage incident down in New Orleans. And now the son is going to get a chance to follow in the footsteps of his dad. I'm old enough to remember Will Smith. He was from Utica, New York, the dad. And as I recall, I think it was Jim Haycock and Fred Pugich went up there and recruited him to come to Ohio State. Turns out he's a national champion, key contributor on the 2002 team, an All-American in 2003. When they were doing the ceremony for the champions at the Schottenstein Center, they drowned out whatever he was trying to say by saying, one more year. And sure enough, Big 93 came back for that one more year. Little did we know it was going to be just like what happened in 2015, where repeating is seemingly much more difficult than winning it the year before. But Will Smith, great Buckeye, and we're going to find out if his son, is going to carry the same kind of level, or maybe even better as a defensive tackle for the Buckeyes in the years to come. So excited to see that. He's the only guy from the 614 in this class, which is crazy. There are 7 Ohio guys in the class. They've only taken 6 each of the last 2 years. I think Day took 8 in his 2020 class. So, we're not quite to Jim Tressel where you sign 24 and 11 or 12 of them are from Ohio, but, we're inching back up there just a little bit.